I'm here with Joe Lawson, Richie Keith, and Jimmy Penner at Essentially Off-Road to discuss some of the big changes being made to the Plowboy in preparation for the King of the Hammers race. But let's start with a little bit of background on this adventure. Joe, do you want to tell us how this kind of came about?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. The King of the Hammers is, in my opinion, probably one of the most prolific races in the world. And it's always been a bucket list of mine. And so this past year, I had an opportunity to actually get a ticket to the King of the Hammers. And so it was the most happiest time of my life, and also the most saddest instantly, because I was like, wow, I got the Willy Wonka golden ticket to go to the Hammers, but I didn't have a buggy that was capable enough. And so after Richie and I had competed in the SRS versus Ultra 4 shootout down at Superlift, I called him on the way home, and he asked me to come over to his shop, and that's where he saw that after we had competed, the impact that triple bypasses had. And he said, Joe, I think I'm going to go ahead and put triple bypasses on this. And so then my wheels were just turning in my head, and I was like, Richie, I got a ticket to the Hammers. You got a buggy that's going to be almost compatible. You want to go? And so Richie immediately said, are you serious? You want to go with the Hammers? And so this is where it brings us to today. And so we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Richie loaning up his buggy and making these modifications.
All right.
Whenever Joe called and he came to the house, and we talked about it, and then the worst thing was when I had to wear that flat bill hat. He said, you got to wear it. I said, I ain't going to wear it for long. So Joe made the thing on Facebook and made the post, and here we are. Jimmy made all the modifications so far up to date. He already had the front end, rear end done, and the triple bypasses are going to be the way to go. So we're working on it right now, and we just can't wait.
So right now it's really kind of a race against time to get the Plowboy finished for the King of the Hammers. Jimmy, do you want to maybe talk about some of the, I guess, the most major modifications that you have made or are planning to make for the Plowboy?
Most of the upgrades that we've done to prepare this buggy for King of the Hammers involve safety. It's no fun catching on fire in the desert or banging your head against the roll cage the whole time. So what we've done is we've kind of tricked the eye with the roof here. Overall, we've gained 6 inches by lowering the seats and raising the roof for safety. You don't want to hit your head going through the desert. I also put much safer seats in there. These are PRP podium seats designed for racing, already designed for the 5-point harnesses. We've kept the theme with the tan leather interior in it. Big deal there. The other thing is fuel. You want to contain your fuel, you want to contain fuel spills. We're adding a fully contained bladder type cell in the back of it. In order to do this and increase capacity, we've had to extend the back of the buggy. We also walked the wheelbase back a little bit to keep the overall look and dimension of the buggy the same. It was really important to Richie for this to look the same. There's no reason to head out there in Plowboy and it be a completely different buggy. And what we tried to accomplish here is get the overall theme the same, the overall look the same, and improve performance dramatically.
So which one of you is going to be driving this bad boy in the desert?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm actually technically the driver of record. So in order to participate in the King of the Hammers, I have to either start the race or finish the race. And the original plan is that Richie and I were just going to share this adventure, just he and I. We're going to take turns co-driving, because the race is anywhere from 7 to 13 hours in some instances.
Okay.
I don't even like driving to Florida for 12 hours, much less driving through the desert. And so I talked to Richie actually last week, and I think to make this the best experience for both of us. And so we actually reached out and invited Bobby Tanner in Screamin' Blue, the owner of Screamin' Blue, to come co-drive with us. So not only will I be driving and co-driving, Richie will be driving and co-driving, and Bobby Tanner will be driving and co-driving. And so the plan is as we come into the remote pits, depending on our fatigue and so forth, each of us are going to take turns.
Okay.
The only thing that I ask is that when we cross the finish line, I'm in the buggy. So,
Right. So there's a lot of teamwork going into this race.
Well, not so. Yes, there's tons of teamwork, but there's also teamwork with Jimmy Penner and his crew, making sure that this buggy is running all week and so forth too. So yeah, it's a collective effort to pull this off.
From start to finish, really.
Absolutely.
That's Bobby Tanner. You gonna do that?
What's that?
Whoa. I said, that's going to last up to Bobby Tanner.
Yeah, you just threw a big old wrench in that, keeping it running all week.
Yeah, we're actually gonna sit down and have a talk with Bobby. This is not throw it to the wood and run. This is an endurance race. I know Bobby doesn't know endurance, but we're going to hopefully dial him in on that.
You got to make it last a little longer than a hill climb.
Longer than 12 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, I have confidence in you guys. So we're excited to come out and cheer Team Plowboy on race day.
Awesome. We're excited to be representing every wheeler in the South.